Welcome back to Golden Rule Wisdom, where we explore the deepest truths of life to help you find your peace. In our modern digital world, we constantly scroll through the highlighted reels of others, feeling a deep sense of inadequacy. We see their victories, their wealth, and their perfect moments, forgetting that these images are carefully curated fragments of reality. This constant comparison creates a thief in our minds, stealing our joy and replacing it with a heavy, silent sorrow. Meet David, a diligent young man who works incredibly hard every single day, yet his heart remains heavy with envy. He watches his colleagues receiving praise and instantly feels that his own efforts are invisible and completely without any value. Instead of celebrating his own steady progress, he measures his worth by the rulers of everyone else around him today. He sees a friend driving a luxury car and immediately feels a sharp pang of failure piercing through his chest. The success of others does not inspire him. Instead, it becomes a mirror reflecting only his perceived flaws and shortcomings. Sleep becomes difficult as his mind races with thoughts of why he is not moving as fast as his peers. He looks in the mirror and sees only what he lacks, blind to the abundance of talents he actually possesses. One afternoon, seeking escape from his thoughts, David wandered into a quiet park where the noise of the city faded. There he met Thomas, a wise elderly man whose calm presence felt like a gentle anchor in a stormy sea. Thomas noticed the heavy burden on the young man's shoulders and invited him to sit and share his troubled mind. David poured out his heart, explaining how he felt left behind while everyone else seemed to be winning at life. The old man listened intently, his silence providing a safe space for David to release the toxicity of his comparison. When David finally fell silent, Thomas smiled warmly and pointed towards the magnificent forest that bordered the edge of the park. He asked David to walk with him among the trees, promising that the forest held the answer to his pain. They walked slowly along the winding path, the sound of crunching leaves under their feet breaking the silence of nature. Thomas stopped before a massive ancient oak tree and a smaller apple tree growing quietly just a few feet away. He rested his hand on the rough bark of the oak and asked David a question that sounded simple yet profound. Do you think this giant oak tree ever feels jealous of the apple tree because it bears sweet red fruit? David looked at the trees, puzzled by the question, realizing for the first time how absurd such a comparison was. Or does the apple tree look up and wish it could be as tall and mighty as the ancient oak? Of course not, because in nature nothing competes. Each plant simply strives to be the best version of itself. If the trees wasted their energy comparing themselves to one another, this entire beautiful forest would wither away from envy. The oak provides shade and strength, standing firm against the wind, fulfilling a purpose that only an oak can fulfill. The apple tree offers sweetness and sustenance, giving life to others in a way the oak tree never could. David nodded slowly, the tight knot in his chest beginning to loosen as the truth of nature sank in. They continued their walk until they reached a bubbling stream where the water flowed effortlessly over the smooth, grey stones. Thomas pointed to a fish swimming with agility against the current and asked David to imagine a different scenario. Imagine if that fish spent its entire life believing it was stupid simply because it could not fly like a bird. It would live a life of misery, ignoring its incredible ability to swim across oceans and navigate the deepest waters. The bird is the master of the sky, but if it tried to live underwater, it would surely drown. David looked at his reflection in the water and realized he had been judging a fish by its ability to climb. He remembered comparing his grades to others, forgetting that his talents lay in creativity rather than in rigid academic memorization. He recalled looking at the wealth of others, ignoring the richness of the loving relationships and health he already possessed. Thomas told him that true success is not beating others, but finding your own path and walking it with courage. David closed his eyes, taking a deep breath, letting the fresh forest air cleanse the toxic envy from his lungs. He felt the heavy chains of comparison shattering, realizing that he was free to be himself without apology or shame. Thomas then shared one final lesson, pointing to the sky where the sun was beginning to set for the evening. The sun burns bright during the day, giving life and warmth, demanding attention with its fierce and powerful golden rays. The moon glows softly at night, guiding travelers in the dark, offering a different kind of beauty and essential light. They do not shine at the same time, yet both are equally important to the balance of our entire world. David realized that everyone has their own time zone for success, and no one is truly ahead or behind him. Someone might graduate at 22, but wait 5 years to find a job that truly makes them feel alive. Another might become a CEO at 25, yet sadly pass away at 50, leaving behind a legacy of unspent time, while another becomes a millionaire at 50 and lives to 90, enjoying the fruits of patience and long-term perseverance. Someone might marry at 20 but divorce by 30, realizing that speed does not always guarantee a happy, lasting outcome, while another marries at 40 and finds a love that lasts an eternity, proving that waiting often brings the best. David walked out of that forest a changed man, no longer looking sideways to see who was running beside him. He returned to his work with a new focus, measuring his progress only against who he was exactly yesterday. When his colleagues succeeded, he celebrated with them, knowing that their light did not make his own path any darker. He began to nurture his own unique talents, watering his own garden instead of watching the grass across the fence. Happiness returned to his life not because he became the best, but because he finally accepted being his true self. Just like a flower does not compete with the flower next to it, you must bloom in your own time. Focus on your own path, for looking at others will only cause you to trip and fall on your journey. Do not let the curated illusions of social media dictate your self-worth or make you feel less than you are. You are unique, irreplaceable, and possess gifts that the world needs, gifts that no one else can ever offer. Some retire at 55 while others start at 70. Everyone works in their own time zone based on their destiny. Do not envy those who seem ahead, and do not mock those who seem behind. We are all just travelers. Trust the timing of your life, for rushing the process will only spoil the fruit before it is truly ripe. David found peace not by changing the world, but by changing the way he looked at his place within it. We are all different notes in the same grand symphony. If we were all the same, the music would serve no purpose. Cherish what you have today, for gratitude is the antidote to the poison of envy that plagues our modern minds. Never compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Your story is still being written page by page. True success is waking up in the morning and liking the person you see in the mirror, flaws and all. Be patient with yourself, keep working hard in silence, and let your eventual success be the noise that matters. The forest remains beautiful because the oak and the apple tree stand together, different yet equal in their own rights. Like David, may you find the wisdom to stop comparing and start living the life that was meant for you. Relax and breathe, for you are exactly where you need to be at this very moment in your journey. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who might need to hear this message today. Tell us in the comments below, what is one unique talent you have that you are grateful for right now? Don't forget to subscribe to Golden Rule Wisdom for more stories that bring clarity and peace to your daily life. Thank you for watching Golden Rule Wisdom. remember to cherish your own path. Goodbye for now, and see you soon.